I'm Michael Bain and welcome to Triggered, our very first Triggered since SHOT 2024. We're back at the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains in Dragon House Studios. And believe me, after a week in Las Vegas, I'm so glad to be home. One of the things I heard more than once in Las Vegas, I heard this repeatedly, was given the present state of the economy in the United States, which is somewhere between the Titanic and the Hindenburg, there's a lot of interest in less expensive firearms. And the specific line that I heard was, you've been talking about revolvers a lot. We'd really like to buy one, but you know what? We're not going to spend $1,200 on one. We're not going to spend $1,000 on one. So what are our options? Well, that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit today. You saw these guns when they came out of the box right at the end of 2023. They're 2024 releases from Rossi. And they are, to me, at this point, the absolute best value in revolvers that you can lay your hands on. These three guns, which is their new line of revolvers, is roughly $500. Now, what does that mean? $500 means generally somewhere between $450 and $550, all three of them. They're 38, 357, 4-inch with adjustable sights, as you can see here. 6-inch with adjustable sights, which this gun shooting wad cutters is an absolute sweetheart. You know, I am tempted to actually shoot this gun in an iron sight revolver classic class in I-Core because it is such a sweetheart to shoot. And then this third guy here. Now, this was the last one I got. I got it just before I was going to SHOT, because it is hard for Rossi to keep them in stock. This is their 3-inch. Once again, 38, 357. These two stainless steel, this is carbon steel. Already options are being offered by Rossi, including wood grips. And this gun, the 3-inch, will also come into blue. I think it's RP, RP63. I can never remember all those numbers, but this gun shoots great. It's about 27 1/3 ounces. And if you're shooting 38, you're shooting 38 plus P in it. It is a sweetheart to shoot. At that weight, it's not a pocket gun by any stretch of the imagination. But considering these are roughly K-frame, Smith & Wesson K-frame size, there are plenty of holsters. In fact, probably every holster maker on earth makes something that will fit these guns. Either IWB, OWB, Kydex leather, you call it. I tried it on some of my K-frame holsters and they all worked really, really well. A little loose in an L-frame holster, but still some you can tighten and clamp down just a little bit. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be shooting these guns a lot. One of the things I'm going to do for you is I want to run some really hot 357 through these guys, through this guy specifically, to try to show you the difference between a 38 plus P, 38, say, wad cutter load, those great 38, 148 grain wad cutter loads that are looking to be a really great self-defense option, and then the hotted up 357s. But when you talk about a value for a gun, this is a value for a gun. And when we come back, we're going to talk about another revolver from SHOT. This week's Triggered is brought to you by Muzzle Stick. Biggest, brightest, strongest. Taurus, USA. Always ready, always bring it. Stoger, everyday tough. SDS Imports, Thesis. Thesis means quality. Hunter's HD Gold. They change so you don't have to. MTM Case Guard. Quality shooting sports accessories. And Ed Brown. The best money can buy for over 50 years. Welcome back to Triggered. One revolver I saw at Media Day at the SHOT Show that really surprised me was from Diamondback Firearms. Now, you're familiar with Diamondback for their really small DB9 9mm, also for their 5.7 by 2.8 really small personal defense weapon. They also make ARs, and kind of out of the clear blue, they decided they wanted to come into the revolver market, and they came in with the self-defense revolver SDR, which is a 6-shot 38 357. Snub, essentially roughly the size of a Colt Detective Special, pretty much in that context. And I talked to the engineer at some length there at Media Day, the guy who actually did the design work on the gun, and we talked about what the criteria were, what he was looking to put into the gun. It's stainless steel, bright polished stainless. The magazine release, much more reminiscent of Ruger and Kimber than, say, Smith & Wesson or Colt. What I found in shooting the gun was that it shot extremely well. What I wanted to do, they had, I think, 158 grain round nose 38 specials, which is essentially my competition load in I-Corps Federals. And so I was familiar with the load in a lot of different guns. So I ran the gun a good bit, and I ran it fast, and it's got enough heft to it that with those 38 loads, it's really easy, super easy to shoot. It is an extremely attractive gun. It's got sort of like design hints from a lot of other firearms. So I am actually looking forward to getting one for T&E. I understand MSRP is going to be around lucky 777, somewhere in there. When we come back, we're going to check fannies. If you can remember all the way back to the 1980s, which most people can't because they weren't born then, fanny packs, waist packs were an enormously popular way to carry a firearm. It's kind of the beginning of the concealed carry revolution, of course, which started in 1986 in Florida. And as I mentioned to you numerous times, I was the co-author of the very first concealed carry certification course accepted by the state of Florida. But holsters weren't nearly as prevalent as we see today. So the fanny pack, the waist pack, became really easy to carry a firearm in, especially in Florida, where it turns out it's hot and you have summer. And then they faded from view. One of the reasons they faded was people saying, well, anybody wearing a fanny pack in the front instead of on their fanny is clearly carrying a gun. To which my response was always, so what? I actually once walked through a police convention with a fanny pack on, and not one officer suddenly screamed, OMG, he's got a gun. It's mostly urban myth. But fanny packs have come back. They never went out of fashion here in Colorado because you got hiking, you got outdoors, you got stuff you want to carry with you. And a waist pack makes a lot of sense, especially you've seen waist packs from places like Ebersol or from Hill Country people that make really excellent outdoor stuff. So here are a couple of my early on waist packs, fanny packs. This one I like it because it's hard to ignore, and the theory is this bright color, hey, who would put a gun in something that ugly? Or this appears to be swag from the Death Ride, long bicycle ride. But this is a modern fanny pack. This is a brand new fanny pack from Wilderness Tactical. They are among the best makers of tactical gear in the entire world and have for a long time. You probably first heard about them with their Gunsight training belt, and they still make a training belt. But this particular fanny pack was designed with input from Daryl Bolke, who knows an awful lot about carrying off body. It is perfectly designed for what it does. Here you've got strap inside. You can fit the gun in at exactly the right angle that you need. You've got lots of other pouches for carrying ID, for carrying small medical kits, for carrying your phone, any of those. It's available in multiple colors, including some garish ones. But if you're looking for a way to carry off body, especially if you're an outdoors person, you're going to be hiking, you're going to be going around, definitely visit Wilderness Tactical and take a look at this fanny pack, this waist pack. About $125 because it's pretty much perfect. So, that's it for this week. You can always find Triggered on michaelbain.tv for free. You can find it on Rumble. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Facebook for a little bit longer, on X. And next week, we've got even more guns that you saw just at the end of last year. We're going to be shooting a lot more stuff.